if they had gone to Ghana for reconciliation and they had an agreement, Gowon was the one who, on his own, reneged in following to the agreement he entered into in Aburi in Ghana. Don't forget that it was also as soon as they came back from Ghana, he created more states. Anybody that has an apology to make the apology so that we can move forward as one nation.
I've been telling our Sunday talk, say a United States-based group been don lambast Oga Gowon, Yakubu Gowon will be the former military head of state for inside Nigeria, concerning the thing when talk recently about the Aburi Accord. For inside an exclusive interview when get with Arise Television, been talk something about the Aburi Accord. Talk say, wetin make the war happen? Say people they talk about Aburi Accord. Wetin Ojukwu talk about the Aburi Accord don't be the real thing wey happened. And say Ojukwu came and wanted regional blocks or regional government to handle the military or to be heads of their own military. That is for their own military or their security to be independent. Say now wetin cause trouble. So the group don't come talk say, okay, wetin be the essence of Aburi Accord if it be say people no go fit get control of their own military. That is regional people no go fit get control of their military. In fact, they can't even give example of the United States of America. As it be say all the states for the United States then get their own independent, they practice true federalism. So now this group they talk say if to say they do this one, say if it be really true federalism, now it be say the states for the practice or Nigeria for the practice. And what's in them talk? They can't talk say if to say that kind of thing happen, one, it was say they agree to the Aburi Accord or him go on no can change in mind, decide say Nigeria must get control of the military only, and the military must be centered for the center where they cause the problem where they get today. Say one, the war for no happen will lead to the death of millions of people. When him go and talk say the deaths no reach millions. Two, say this same problem where we say would they get right now for no day right now. Sake of say different regions then for get charge of their own military, including in all Plateau State for no they get problem. Because instead of until they wait, make it be say in commission of police for in states get order from IGP from Abuja in commission of police of it take charge of security for inside the state. And things where they happen now for no they happen. In fact, I talked about this on Sunday. I thought make you go back go watch a bit of the analysis where it be say Prince Francis Chilaka give about that thing. Prince Francis Chilaka had a lot to say about this. As a matter of fact, he was the one that asked me to ensure that I talk about this. So I talked about it because he wanted to talk a lot about it. Oh yeah, go and hear what he had to say about this. Just watch. Aburi Accord held on January 4 to 5, 1967 in Ghana was a last-ditch effort to salvage what was left for Nigeria after the first military coup in January 1966. In July 1966, which saw thousands of Easterners slaughtered in cold blood across the northern region. The agreement, which was documented in writing and tape recordings, was unambiguous. It reaffirmed the sovereignty of the region, each region to control its own affairs. It called for or confederation, where the center rather would be weak and the regions stronger. That was part of the agreement of the Aburi Accord. It called for joint control of the armed forces, not central command. It agreed that appointments to the Nigerian Military Council must be regional and consensual. These positions were not Ojukwu's intervention. They were the collective resolutions agreed by all Nigerian military leaders present at the meeting, the Aburi Accord in Ghana. Gowon's later repudiation of the Aburi Accord upon return to Lagos was not due to disagreement with the terms, but under direct pressure from the British High Commission and the Northern oligarchy, who feared a return to the economically successful and politically autonomous regions of the First Republic. Is General Gowon genuinely unaware that in the United States, the very model of federalism, state governors control their national guards and can activate them independently of the federal system or the federal government? Rather, war did not seek war. It sought autonomy, safety, and self-governance in the face of an unrelenting genocidal machine. We also remind the world that it was the Biafra government, through its High Commissioner in Lagos, Sir David Hunt, that instructed Gowon to reject the Aburi Accord and ensure that power remained concentrated in the hands of northern establishments. Britain did not want a successful federation of autonomous regions. It wanted a unified, centrally controlled Nigeria under Fulani dominance. Now, their statement be this, so no be me. To protect Shell BP and other colonial era corporate interests. That is why Britain armed Nigerians with bombs, aircraft, and diplomatic cover to annihilate Biafra. The group explained further that millions of Nigerians are living the consequences of Aburi Accord's betrayal, which has led the country to insecurity, economic collapse, fake federalism, and a state of masquerading as federalism. His, Gowon's words, are not just distortion of the past, they are dangerous attempt to sanitize tyranny and genocide. We call on all truth-seeking historians, scholars, and lovers of justice to revisit the original tape and documents of the Aburi Accord, many of which are publicly available, to expose Gowon's lies. Now, so Rising Sun talk, we say Rising Sun Global Family will continue to resist every attempt to revise history or justify genocide. Ojukwu stood on the side of justice. History has already passed its verdict, and it's not in his favor. So now people they talk, say part of what they happen for inside Plateau State where he come from, and because of this decision, when he makes, say if to say in no renege the agreement of Aburi Accord, say at least Plateau State for fit take control of their own military, for fit fight anybody with the intrude on them, but say still waiting in terms of Plateau State they go through. Same thing with Benue State today. I would like to take your reaction on
I believe that for one, at his age now, he's an elder statesman, able to tell Nigerians the truth of what transpired. And that truth is to tell Nigerians why the Aburi it collapsed. If
He has said it now. He said it in that interview. That it's
I'm
because
coming. If they had gone to Ghana for reconciliation and they had an agreement, I believe that the terms and conditions of that agreement was clear. So if they now come back and some party decides to, be smart about it, what would they have done? Wisdom would have prevailed to say, let us give this situation a chance. Let us go back to the drawing board. But we know that, from all other documentations I've read about the Biafran War and everything that led to the Biafran War, I know that, Gowon was the one who, on his own, reneged in following to the agreement he entered into in Aburi in Ghana. He was the one. Don't forget that it was also as soon as they came back from Ghana, he created more states. He actually created states to balkanize the Southeast. So, well, when two people have a fight and one person is dead, it becomes your own against that corpse because the person can't talk anymore. But I think that Gowon owes it to Nigerians, to everybody, to open up and tell us the truth so that we will also know, so that the hatred that is going on, the animosity that is going on between the Igbos and other tribes can be sorted out. But when these people keep lying to us, when they keep hiding the truth, they are also building up more anger, frustration, and hatred. The Igbo man will tell you, and the Hausa man were responsible for annihilating them and all of that. The Igbo man will tell you that it was a Yoruba man that told the Hausa man to blockade food from entering the Southeast. And this animosity has been there. It's even growing worse on a daily basis. But the only way to get this thing sorted out so that all of us can look at one Nigeria, one United Nations that we all want to believe in and accept is by seeing the truth. Anybody that has an apology to make the apology so that we can move forward as one nation. A nation without history is not a nation. People without a history do not belong anywhere. We need to know the truth. Nobody's going to break anybody's head. What has happened, but we need to know so that we also can learn from it and be able to correct such things and ensure that it doesn't happen again. The way animosity, the way anger, the way tribalism, the way religiosity is eating up this nation. We'll probably wake up one morning and we see that Nigeria has gone up in flames. But we don't pray for that. So I'm calling on everybody who has information. Please, when you want to give out information regarding Nigeria, make sure that that information is truth and that information is correct so that we can run with it. Our children can also run with it. That is how history is written.
And also go hear excerpt of waiting Oga General Yakubu Gowon talk for inside that interview where they cause wahala like that. Here for Arise Television with Charles and Yogolo.
Well, I think that is the interpretation that we not know whether that accord was the actual final result written from him was not to be done until after we got home.
But you agreed to the accord when you were in Ghana.
No, this is the accord. It is not a question of agreement in accord. this, it is when we come back home, and I made this, I made a statement, when you come back home, and I make a statement that you about Aburi.
Right. Because that's why it was called an accord. An accord means that you had agreed.
No, what accord? It's what? No, but then it has to be done in Nigeria before Friday.
So you needed to come home and discuss it.
Unfortunately, when the first people didn't want to believe it, I was having a serious attack of either fever or whatever it is, and I could not make any decision. No, at home.
Right.
When we arrived in the home, and Tojuku was one who then, when he came, he went and made made the statement. He made the statement about the Aburi Accord. And the governor of the Midlands, Duke Edge, then rang me at that very early hours of the day. To tell me, he said, "Had you heard?" So I said, "Had not." And you know what Ojukwu said? So I said, "No, I haven't had anything, baby. You know that happened, but that is the reason why I could not make this statement, which would have then clearly say exactly what what we agree with anything about it." And he told me that, "Oh, you said you are going to move a cat, that the military is going to be, etc., going to be controlled now from each, from each opposition, for example." And he was what I said today. Is that actually, honestly, is that what me I did too? But he said, "Yo." So I said, "Well, this year I do not know what that is." So that was the time, and then later on, had to ask the other governors what they think, and they were able to say, "Well, that is not quite what it is." So we had to organize a meeting of all the governors, and he was invited to attend so that we can deal with the Aburi Accord. And we met at NIFO in Benin, and he did not turn up. And of course, all the secretaries to the government, all the were there, all the governors were there. He was invited, but of course he said because of security reason he cannot come, so he didn't come or send anybody. And we discussed that Aburi discussion. And, for example, the permanent, the secretary to the government, the West, did ask, came and appealed to me, as a Christian, please, if we can make sure that that accord, what we agreed is in the true spirit of Aburi. And I told him, as a Christian, I can assure you that that is the way, it is going to be. And we had that meeting. In the end, we invited him to come. He did not come. So, and when we ended the meeting, of course, the spirit of Aburi was totally, as if it was sort of, I do not know what accord he was reading, because he came to the meeting with prepared papers, of things that he wanted. And of course, we discussed them one by one, agree on some, disagree on some. Like, for example, to give you one of the major issue, although we say that the military would be zoned, but the control. And then he wanted, those zones to be commanded by the governor. Say, if you have a military zone in the north, will be commanded by the governor of the military. In the east, will be commanded by, by him, and military in the west, by this thing. And of course, we did not agree with that one. And certainly it was not one of those agreed. But none of us went there, with any senior official, secretary to the government, or senior, etc. We did not. We just went there, as far as we are concerned, to be able to meet as officers now and then, to agree to be able to get back home and resolve our problem at home. That was, my understanding, but that is not his understanding. And so when we went to NIFO and discussed this, the spirit of Aburi was certainly included. The only thing that I added was that no region will can succeed.
You don't hear what's in Gowon talk. Okay, so what do you think about the response of this US-based group, and what do you think about this one where be say they happen? And the name of the US-based group, now Rising Sun, nine be their name. What do you think about what's in this Rising Sun group? Them don't talk, and the points and what they don't state out. I would expect your thoughts and reaction under here. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Bye.